The 23rd of April, 2026, Thursday morning. We are in chapter 4 on society and human relationships, common Buddhist text, guidance, and insight from the Buddha. Previously, we covered the Theravada perspective on society and human relationship. We are currently on the Mahayana perspective on society and human relationship, the equality of men and women. And from the Mahayana, we will look in the Vajrayana, so the greater and the lesser vehicle. But today we're still in the greater vehicle. The equality of men and women, gender prejudice. This striking passage criticizes prejudice against women as it wrongly views gender as being based on unchanging essential natures. Sariputra says, "Goddess, why don't you transform yourself from your female state?" We read this yesterday. We're in respect for gratitude for parents. Consideration and respect for parents, especially one's mother. This passage details what we owe our parents and teaches what we should not neglect them. The Buddha said, people are born into this world with a father and a mother as their parents. If there is no father, there will be no birth. If there is no mother, there will be no giving of birth. Relying completely on its mother, the fetus dwells within her body for 10 lunar months. When the mother's term is complete, the child is born onto the ground. The father and mother raise the child. They lay him in a crib. The father and mother carry the child in their arms. They make the child say, he. The child smiles, but cannot speak. They feed the child whenever he is hungry, and without a mother, he cannot be fed. They give the child something to drink whenever he is thirsty, and without the mother, he would have no milk to drink. Even if she is hungry herself, she will take bitter food for herself and nourish her child with her sweet milk. She will give up a dry place for her child and sit in the damp herself. If there are no such bonds, there is no family. Without his mother, the child will not be provided for. A loving mother raises her child. She takes him out of the crib when he is dirty and feeds him without worrying about the dirt she gets under her own fingernails. Altogether, a child drinks fully 404 liters of milk from his mother. The care of the mother gives to the child is immeasurable, like the heavens. And how can a mother's kindness be repaid? Ananta said to Gautama the Buddha, "Blessed one, how can the care she gives to her child be repaid? Please explain this for us." Gautama Buddha replied to Ananta, "Listen carefully and attentively, and I will explain this to you in detail. The care given to us by our father and our mothers is immeasurable, like the heavens. If a child filled with love and respect for his parents makes copies of sutras in order to make his father and mother happy, or makes libations to the Buddha and to the Sangha, on trays for 15 days of the 7th month and offers them to the Buddha and the Sangha, then the karmic fruits he will obtain will be immeasurable. In this way, he can repay the care he has received from his mother and his father. Alternatively, if anyone copies the sutras, disseminates it widely, accepts this as a true, and recites it, this person will repay the care he has received from his father and his mother. How can the care given by one's father and mother be repaid? Every day one's father and mother go to work. One's mother goes to draw water from the well, walking half a kilometer to the east or to the west to do so, and pounds rice. Whenever she is away from home, she worries that her child might be home crying. She thinks about her child, responds when she returns home, and she sees her approaching. He might shake his head from side to side in his crib or crawl on his belly while he cries out for the mother. She will bend down to pick him up and brush out the dust off of him with both hands. Then, making comfortable sounds, she will breastfeed him. The mother is filled with joy when she sees her child. The child is filled with happiness when he sees his mother. The care and the affection they have for one another is precious. There is nothing greater than this love. When the child is 2 or 3 years old, he begins to form his own ideas and thoughts. He still doesn't know when it is time to eat without his mother to tell him. If his father and his mother are invited to a fine banquet, where they are served with cake and meat, they will not eat everything they are offered, but take some back with them and give it to their child. 9 times out of 10, the child is happy. But if he doesn't get anything, he will cry or pretend to cry out of pride. A child who is filled with pride does not show respect to his parents. It should be spanked 5 times. A child who respects his parents will not complain, but will show them love and obedience. When the child grows up and begins to spend time with his friends, his father and his mother will comb and brush his hair. If he wants nice clothes to wear, they will wear worn and threadbare clothes themselves and give their child good quality new skills. When he begins to go on his own on public or private businesses, his parents cherish him in their hearts. Whether he goes north or south, they follow him in their minds. Whether he goes east or west, holding their heads to one side. When he starts to think about finding a wife, they will find a woman for him. He distances himself from his father and his mother, sharing conversations and pleasure with his wife in privacy of their room. Although his father and his mother are now old and frail, he ignores them all day long. From morning until evening, he doesn't go to speak to them. Sooner or later, either his mother or his father will pass away. His surviving parents will be left to sit alone in an empty room like a guest in someone else's house. They receive no care or affection and are cold without a quilt to keep them warm. They suffer hardships and difficulties. A weak elderly parent even become infested with lice, such that they cannot sleep day or night. They may give a long sigh and ask themselves, what unwholesome action did I perform in the past in order to give birth to a child who has no respect for his parents? Or they go to the child and scold him with angry stares. He and his wife lower their heads, but with a smirk. The child shows no respect for his parents. He deserved to be spanked 5 times, like the child, as what he and his wife have done is equivalent to 5 acts of immediate bad karmic consequences. When his parents call out for help with some urgent problem, 9 out of 10, the child will not respond. He is consistently disobeying his parents, staring at them with anger and hatred in his eyes, and saying, "You should die soon. Why are you still above the ground? When his parents hear that they are sad and distressed, they weep with tears flowing down their cheeks. They cry out to the child with swollen eyes. When you were small, you could not have survived without us. We gave you life. Perhaps it would have been better if we hadn't. The Buddha said this to Ananda. If a daughter or a son of a good family accepts this sutra, sutra means truth, by the way, the great perfection of wisdom, the importance of caring for one's father and mother as true, reads it, recites it, and copies it for their father and mother. And even if one sentence or verse of it should reach their eyes or their ears, their 5 grave sins will be completely, permanently eradicated. They will often see the Buddha and hear the Dharma. They will swiftly attain liberation. Ananda rose from his seat, placed his upper robe over his left shoulder, knelt before the Buddha in folded hands in Anjali, and said, "Blessed One, what is the name of this sutra? How is it to be preserved and honored?" Gautama Buddha said to Ananda, "This name of the sutra is the Sutra on the importance of caring for one's father and mother. Any living being who makes copies of this truth, sutra, burns incense, invites the Buddha to teach, worships and honors the triple jewels, or the triple gem, or the Taratanatai, or the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, or gives food or drink to the Sangha, which is the order of Bhikkhu monks, in order to bring blessings to his parents, will repay the care they have given to him. This could be cited in the Sutra on the importance of caring for one's mother and father. Help for dying parents. This passage urges people to ease the karmic burdens of parents or other relatives who are dying by doing good deeds on their behalf. Living beings have unwholesome habits ranging from trivial to immeasurable seriousness. All living beings have these kinds of habits. When one's parents or relatives are approaching death, it is appropriate to generate karmic benefits for them to help them on the road ahead. Sharing karmic benefits with dead relatives. The helping for the dying parents can be cited in the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva Pura Panidana Sutra, Daso, Volume 13, Text 412, Chapter 7. Sharing karmic benefits with dead relatives. Benefiting parents and ancestors by giving donations on their behalf. This passage urges one to do good deeds on behalf of one's parents and other ancestors, which can benefit from. It is from the Ulambana Sutra, Daso, Volume 16, Text 685, translated from Tibetan. The Buddha told Madhu Magayana, the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. The 15th day of the 7th lunar month is Paravana Day of the Sangha, means coming out of Lent. So Pavana, the day that when we come out of Pansa. On this day, for the benefit of one's mother and father, one's ancestors going back to 7 generations, one should serve the most virtuous Sangha who have gathered from every direction. One should serve them food, all kinds of fruits, jars, vessels, incense, oils, lamps, bedding, mats to sit on, and all sorts of delicious things from from many places. On this day, there will be members of the noble Sangha present who have been in meditation in the mountains, as well as who has attained the fruits of practice and the path. Those who have been doing walking meditation beneath trees, who have mastered the six normal powers, those who have been teaching, those who are aiming to become disciples of solitary Buddhas, those who are bodhisattvas, those who are awakens, great beings at the 10th stage, and those who have temporarily transformed themselves and then taken the form of monks. They all have assembled in order to receive paravara offerings with unity and unanimity of mind, having attained the pure immortality of the noble Bhikkhu Sangha with their lawfully limited virtues. The mother and the father, the ancestors going back 7 generations, and all the relatives of those who make offerings to the members of the Sangha on paravara ceremony will be delivered from the suffering of the 3 states of misfortune. They will receive food and clothing. In due course, they will attain liberation. If their parents are still active, they will enjoy happiness for more than 100 years. If their parents are dead, then they, along with their ancestors going back 7 generations, will be reborn among the gods, entering the heavenly radiance of divine flowers and enjoying innumerable pleasures. Urambhabana Sutra, Daso, Volume 16, Text 685, translated from Tibetan. A bodhisattva percepts on the transfer of karmic benefit. It's good to note that a bodhisattva is a person that's not an arihant yet. So a person's on the stage to be awakening. This is part of the 48 secondary precepts on the ethical code on the East Asian Brahma Net Sutra. The precepts on rescuing living beings on the day his father and mother or sibling die. He should ask the Dharma teacher to recite the sutra on the precepts for the benefit of the deceased, in order that they might encounter a Buddha or be reborn among human beings or amongst the gods. A bodhisattva who fails to do so disgraces himself by becoming a secondary offense. Doing good deeds on behalf of dead relatives reborn as petras. Petras are hungry ghosts. This passage urges one to care for dead relatives by doing good deeds on their behalf in order to bring karmic benefits. A father who has been reborn as a hungry ghost may be able to share in karmic benefits accumulated by his son, if the actions which generates the karmic benefit are dedicated to him. If he was reborn amongst the gods, he would not care about human affairs. Why is this? It's because he would have obtained the precious possession of the heavenly realm. If he was reborn in the hellish realm, he would be unable to receive the benefits of this offering, because he would be in a great physical agony with no chance to think about anything else. He would also be unable to receive the benefits of this dedication of good karmic if he was reborn as a human being or an animal. Why is that? Because only hungry ghosts can share in the karmic benefits of actions which are dedicated to him. The reason that he has been reborn as a hungry ghost is that he was bound by greed and meaninglessness in his previous existence. When he was born as a hungry ghost, he regrets the way he has acted. He thinks about how he can receive the benefits of good karma, which is dedicated to him. This is why he is able to receive these benefits. If the karmic benefits is dedicated to others who have been born in other realms, the relatives of one making the dedication who have been born as hungry ghosts, petras, will receive the karmic benefits and dedication rather than those who were intended. This is why those who are wise should accumulate karmic benefit and dedicated to the hungry ghost. This can be cited from the Upasaka Sila Sutra Daso, Volume 24, Text 1488, Chapter 19, page 1059, Section C, 05 through 13, translated from Tibetan. Now, as we start off on the next one on the Vajrayana, looking on the perspective on human society and human relations on chapter 4, we previously just covered the Theravada tradition and the Mahayana tradition. And we will pick up the Vajrayana on the next one. Common Buddhist text, guidance and insight from the Buddha, Chief Editor, Pratmaha Dr. Dhamma Kosajan.